I was just reading something. It was called, it's an article that I get. It was called Dealing with the Frustrations of Life. That's a big one. I mean, how do we get over the frustrations of life? We're going to have frustrations. Um, the dog peed on your carpet because, oops, we slept too hard and didn't wake up and didn't take poor little poo poo outside to use the toilet. That's a frustration. Not having enough money to pay your bills. That's a frustration. Dealing with a rude or inappropriate customer or coworker at work. That's a frustration. But I just want to get real right now and talk about frustrations and how I've had to deal with some of them this year. Um, One of the things that kind of sent me into a spiral, a financial spiral downward, was when I got sick a few months ago. And I ran out of vacation time. You know, I was in the hospital about 3, 4 days, ran out of vacation time. So, of course, that made my check short. Yeah, I think some of us can identify with that. Made my check short, and therefore, my money was short. Everybody didn't get paid like they used to. And all kind of mess happens. I almost cussed. All kind of mess happens. And I was just like, I felt like I was in a box. I was getting closed in, boxed in, and the only sounds I could hear were bills. I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know how to ask for help. I felt constrained and paralyzed. And it made me sick. So I ended up in the hospital. I got out the hospital. I felt like a weaker version of me. I wasn't strong, I didn't feel. Of course, they diagnosed me with some diseases and things like that and gave me all kind of medications that, caused me to have to pay money. And again, a frustration. Money I didn't have. I had to rely on my daughter and son-in-law for a lot. And thank God I have them because they came through for me. But the frustrations in life will kill you. I was praying, but I think I was begging praying. So you can pray with confidence, knowing that you're going to be victorious, or you can beg and pray where you're crying like, Lord, please help me. Are you hearing me? Why won't you answer my cry? And this is during a time when two things happen for us spiritually as Christians. The first thing that happens is God God doesn't have a watch, okay? So if your bill is due on the 14th and you say, Lord, please help me to pay my light bill, it's going to get shut off by the 14th of the month. God doesn't have a watch. What God wants you to do, and so he'll respond with something that's quite different than what you're expecting. You pray to him to pay your bill for you or help you find the money or get the money to pay your bill by the 14th. God will respond in kind to you. Go to church and tithe, or go help somebody you don't like. They need some food. You got food. Go give it to them. And what we've been conditioned to do for so long is to ignore that. Ignore it because it's not what we want to hear. The thing that God has to do through us and in us is he has to teach us how to be better. I think when I say teach us how to be better, because when we go through a struggle, a frustration, a big frustration, when we go through that, what ends up happening is we have to wait. We have to wait on God. So waiting on God makes us have patience, because when you wait, you got to have patience. Now, the choice is ours to wait with disdain or to wait with victory in our hearts, knowing that he's going to come through. Needless to say, God has come through on everything for me. He handled these super big things that were seeking to totally devour me. And, I'm a coward. I'm a coward. I will run. I will put my gym shoes on and I will skedaddle, because I was just thinking, well, maybe I'll just get my paycheck one day and I just leave everything, carry my camera with me, leave it all up there in the apartment, tell my daughter she can go there and get everything she want, but I'm gone, and start a new life someplace else. Now, that reminded me of a scene of a TV show that used to come on. It was Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby. Long, 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 long time ago. If y'all my age, y'all know what I'm talking about. But you can't run away all the time. Because what happens is you're going to get in the same situation again, and you'll get to the same point where you were when you ran away. And you're going to have to go through it again. Oh my God, Jesus help me. You're going to have to go through it again. You hear me? So we don't like to wait. People, we don't like to wait. And the faster that the internet it gets worse for some of us, because we want our solution, we want our problem solved just as quickly as when we Google something we don't know. And God ain't playing with us like that. He is not playing with us. I stand here today because it's a beautiful day. I stand here today telling you in faith, God does work. He works. Prayer works. It's real. It's a thing. Get it? Some of y'all may be looking at me like, you know what, you stupid. God ain't thinking about me. I've been going through this forever. You're going through it forever because you keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Each time I go through something, I look at it as a growing episode. It's an opportunity. It's a learning thing. It's an opportunity a teachable moment. That's what I'm looking for. It's a teachable moment. You're never too old to learn. And when we keep going, when we go through something, each time we should get better at it, because we should know, hey, you know what? It's going to work itself out. And as my mother and grandmother used to always say, troubles don't last always. And that's in the Bible somewhere. No, they don't. You just got to go through something to get to something. You got to, you got to have your Jordan River moment, that moment where you look at that river and you realize it's bigger than you. And the only way you're going to get over it is if God steps in and gives you a hand. I was just thinking about this because I'm about to read this article that I think is going to be very, very good for me. And it's called Struggles, Frustrations. How do you get over frustrations? And I just wanted to say this to you guys because we're all human. We go through things. We may not always put it on Facebook or wherever you share your stories about your life. But we go through things, and it's a real thing. It's very, very real to go through things. I wanted to be in Detroit this weekend with my class of 79, Detroit Central. Woo woo. Trailblazers. They live. I wanted to be up there. I had planned to be up there. But it wasn't in God's plan. I was supposed to be going to a white party when I get up there. I was going to go and see some of my old friends I hadn't seen in a while. I was going to go and see family I hadn't seen in a while. It wasn't God's plan for me to be there, whatever reason. And that's okay. I got to deal with that because at the end of the day, He owns the earth. He owns everything we have. He owns the money. He makes it possible for you to have money. It's all His anyway. So who am I to say, dang, God, why you stiff me like that, dog? Why you do that? That's not really the right reaction, but I'm just kind of giving you guys a, example of how we think, how we act. I'm not this super saved person that I don't see and understand real life. I'm a saved woman that goes through real life every day. I have struggles just like anybody else. And it's not what you go through, it's how you go through it, Do you go through it crying with your little shorts on, whining? Or do you go through it saying, you know what, this gonna be all right, So what, I got scraped up a little bit. I got a few scars. But I tell you what, I refuse. I refuse to be broken completely. So I just thought I'd say this to you. I know I'm talking too much, but I just thought I would share this because I know that this is a holiday weekend. And sometimes people, and it doesn't have to be Christmas or anything like that, but a lot of times we get depressed. on the weekends or whatever holiday weekends because we have a high expectation of, oh, I was going to do this, I was going to do that. And it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. So what you have to do, and this is what I did, was I had number one to face my fear. I had to face the fear of calling and talking to a creditor. And I'll tell you what God did. He touched the heart of that creditor. And not only did they give me another chance, they accepted what I had. I didn't have everything that they wanted, but they accepted what I had. And it was without animosity or any kind of sarcasm or anything like that, but that's what they did. And as a matter of fact, he touched the hearts of other creditors. So I just want you to know that when you ask God something, know that it's going to be taken care of. Don't doubt it. Don't keep going back and saying, God, when you going to help me, when you going to help me, and then throw yourself into like a stroke or something. Don't do that. It's going to be all right before you know it, and it'll all be but a memory. Thanks for listening to this and watching this impromptu thing I just produced. It was on my mind and heart. It needed to be said. Thanks for watching.